You come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This door is open to you, and this beautiful choir is raring to go for you this morning. We want to welcome each and every one of you to the light and the love that is right here at Unity of the Blue Ridge. We always begin our time together in prayer. So I'm going to ask you to just take an opportunity to pause together. As we close our eyes this morning, we can literally feel the excitement in the air. We give thanks for that spirit of anticipation. The season that is called Advent, is a way for us to connect to that spirit of anticipation. But it's the spirit of the essential anticipation of our being. It's connected to our heartbeat, to our soul, to our deepest expression of being. That is each and every day wanting to come forth, to be born anew as a living expression of the one power and the one presence, God. Today we celebrate what it is to truly be in touch with that presence as our original nature and how that is the spirit of love. And so we give thanks for all that is going to be experienced this day. And most importantly, that we may be blessed and through that become a greater blessing. For this we are truly grateful. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. We want to welcome you, and I'd like to invite you to turn your cell phones off or on airplane mode if you haven't done that. And we're going to kick it off this morning with Sarah Kors and our Unity of the Blue Ridge Holiday Choir. Would you give them a warm welcome?
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Days of love, days of pain, days of Hanukkah, every one of them glows with love. Hey, days of Hanukkah, every one of them glows with love. Day one.
Time to light a candle for those Maccabees whose oil did burn and burn.
Day two.
Time to spin the dreidel and hope that Gimel shows up on my turn.
Day three.
Fry up the latkes with applesauce and sour cream and all.
Day four.
We're serving briskets from the kosher butcher and got from Saul.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Days of love, days of hate, days of Hanukkah, every one of them glows with love. Hey, days of Hanukkah, every one of them glows
they're going to stay right here because they're going to be singing again in just a moment. But during this pause, before we ask you to greet one another, we're going to turn over in this direction and invite all of our young people to begin to head over for Sunday school. They're preparing a song. They're going to be coming back toward the end of the service to share something with us. And so we have a wonderful program for children, little ones, nursery age, all the way up through teens. And if there's any that are in the chapel, not yet in the back, and you'd like to head over, we're going to rub our hands together and we extend this blessing to our children and through them to all children. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the divinity in you. Have a wonderful Sunday school experience this morning. I'm going to ask you now to take this opportunity to stand and to greet your neighbor with a warm namaste greeting, a handshake, elbow bump. Welcome to the love and light of unity this morning. Keep those. When it's ready, speak really close into it. Yeah. Go ahead. Enter in. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Enter in.
In the dark, in the glow, stars reflect the dance of falling snow. None can match the wonder of your face. Enter in to the presence of the eternal. Enter in to the presence of love. Winter songs rise and take you winter. Don't be afraid. In my heart, something breaks. You whisper to me, don't be afraid. Enter
Thank you for this unity choir, and I want to thank Sarah Kors for her willingness to share her amazing talent and gifts to lead this group. Absolutely, absolutely. You wrote that song? Our choir director wrote that song for this choir. Wow. 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 Absolutely beautiful. Again, we want to welcome each and every one of you today. If you are here for the first time and you raise your hand, that's all we ask. If you raise your hand, it will allow us to acknowledge you as being a visitor or a newcomer. If you hold your hand up just a moment, and Unity folks around them, if you would lovingly point to them until our welcoming team can find them. We may not even have enough cards in here, so if that's the case, no worries. We have these welcome cards back in the foyer, but there's a heart. And if you're wearing one of these hearts, it allows us to more easily acknowledge you as someone that's here for the first time. There's still a bunch of hands up, so just keep pointing, and they're bringing cards around. In the meantime, we're going to love on everybody. Whether it's your first time visiting, and if you have not yet found a spiritual home, we sure hope that you'll come back again and consider this. If you're visiting family from out of town, know that we live stream our services, so you can join us anywhere. If you know that this is part of your spiritual community, we are so thankful that you are creating this. And to those of you virtually that are joining, you are very much a part of this as well. On any given Sunday, there are typically 70 to 80 people somewhere. Well, it's being streamed out. Sometimes we know it's in front of a whole congregation in the Bahamas or in another country, in Cuba. Sometimes it's in a household. Sometimes it's with a small group. Sometimes it's in one person. But it's to each and every one that we extend this blessing to one another. We say, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the divinity in you. There are some exciting things that are coming up. The winter solstice is the 21st. In our spiritual community here, we have a number of people who are Reiki practitioners, who are healing massage therapists. And so on winter solstice, they have planned, and they're coming together. They'll be here from 4 until 6 p.m. to create a space of prayer, to pray with you, and to offer their gifts freely for any that would like to come and to soak up that beautiful energy from 4 to 6. You can drop in any time on the 21st. And then at 6:30, the same group, along with Reverend Megan Goshevsky, she just went out with our children. I'll be here too, but they're leading that program. They're going to lead a beautiful winter solstice program with a little teaching and some ceremony around that at 6:30 p.m. So if you are available, we invite you to come out for that. And then can you believe 1 week from today is Christmas Eve? So we'll have our Sunday morning service like this. And we have a very special service at 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve. It's a candlelight program incorporated with music. If you were here, how many of you were at the concert Friday night? Yeah, we are so blessed with so many musicians. Reggie's going to be back on Christmas Eve night. A lot of those singers will be back participating in a very special candlelight program that will last about an hour from 5 to 6-ish p.m. that night. So we hope you can make it for that as well. One other thing, someone reminded me this morning that they handed me this. It says on Tuesday, December 19th, hundreds of people across in faith traditions across the United States and Canada will hold peaceful demonstrations at their representative offices calling for permanent ceasefire in Gaza. It's the beginning of a journey toward lasting peace between Palestine and Israel. You know, I believe we're called to be people that stand on the lines, that stand in the place that says we're here to create peace and bring that about. And so there's some more information about this at 11 o'clock on Tuesday the 19th. You can gather outside of Republican Chuck Edwards' office if you'd like to very peacefully be there in that spirit of standing for peace and honoring the sacredness of every life. Amen. It's a very beautiful thing. So if that's something you can and would like to attend, we invite you to do that. You are in for a true special service today. We've got a number of new members joining. Our children will be back later in the service to sing a song for you. We have 2 agencies here today. Hopefully Santa came along with his sleigh that we can load all this stuff on and some money that's been collected to send out. So to begin, we'd like to have an inspirational reading, and one of our new members, Lynn Hikus, is going to come up. Lynn, would you please share this reading with us today? Would you welcome Lynn?
First, I'd like to start. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Reverend Darlene, for being my spiritual home. And so this reading is more a guided meditation. It was in YouTube by Milan, and it has a sound healing with angelic voices. So if you like this reading, please come to me and I'll give you the link. If you want to go deeper, you may just relax your body, or I need to relax the body. It's kind of nervous up here. And take 3 deep breaths with me. And you can soften your eyes or close your eyes if you like. Beloved, come home. Come home to the infinite power that lives within you. Come home to the remembrance of who you are. Come home to your inner peace and to the light of your soul's essence. Come home because it's your time to heal and to rise. So take a deep breath into your center. Feel it now. The divine is calling you and filling you with strength to support you in coming home. There's a place of stillness within you that is wise, aware, present, perceptive, grounded, and trusting. There's no deeper truth. You are sacred. You are divine. You are love. This is the true core of your being, hidden beneath layers of the hurt this world has wrapped around you. The illusion of separation is now shedding. You are coming home into the divine embrace of oneness, purity, remembrance. You feel it now. The inner resonance that knows in every cell of your body that you are love. You are divinely connected. You are worthy. You are whole. So breathe in and breathe out. You have arrived. Welcome home.
Thank you, Lynn. That was absolutely beautiful. You have arrived. Welcome home. This is a special occasion where in the life of our spiritual community we receive individuals into membership. Now, there's something very beautiful about unity, is that anyone is welcome, wide open arms and heart, to come, to participate, to hopefully have a sense of belonging. Membership's not required. What membership is about is a personal decision. It's the decision when the individual says, I have found a resonant spiritual community. I have found a place that supports me in my journey. And I believe that being in sync with one's soul and being on a spiritual path and knowing that every day is a spiritual path, realizing that that's such a pivotal part of your life, you want to take a step and say, not only am I living it, I want to help establish it and create it. I want to create that. And so I'd like to invite up three individuals. Beth Beloit, our ministry, she's our executive ministry associate here. Bobby Flowers, O&B, our board president, and Michael Morano. They're going to help with passing out some of the items that we would need. I'm going to step down, and as we call up your name, Richard, would you give us that song, Face of God? As we call up your name, just please be mindful of the chords that we chose this day to have new members and to have chords everywhere. It's the way that it works. So your names will be up here as well, but I invite you to step forward and they'll be handing you a certificate, a rose, and a little piece of glass. It may be a piece of sea glass. It may be a piece of stained glass. It reminds us that we are all part of the great tapestry in life, very unique people, but the light is shining through. So we begin with Cindy Bellaro. Jane Brown. Paige Carter. Ted Cole. Dakota Flowers. Let me get out of the way. Lisa Garung. Karen Renee Halseth. Heather Hansen. Sean Hansen. Lynn Hikus. Nancy Kuntz. Sheldon Kulik. Nita McLeod. Okay. Nancy Kuntz is away with family, and so Linda is going to be standing in for Nancy. That's very kind. Nita McLeod. Lucille Meltz. John Oliver. Sarah Oliver. Catherine Parker. Yeah, there you go. Maud Paulson. And Jay Paulson. Rebecca Sally. Here comes Rebecca. some of these could not be here today. Jay Simler and his wife Lisa Simler, who is back on PowerPoint. Kelly Shelton and Violet Shelton. And Sharon Ward. Go around. What a beautiful, beautiful group we have. And as you noticed, some people are out of town and could not be here today. We want to welcome you. And we recognize who you are. We realize that you've come from many different places, many different walks in life. There have been days you've been lost, and there have been days you've been found. There have been days you've remembered who you are, and days you may have got caught up and carried away in something else. And that's the joy and the beauty of connecting with one another. Where two or three are gathered, we can remind one another. And so you've been given a rose. In the Western tradition, a rose is very symbolic, as would be a lotus in the Eastern tradition. It's rare that you look at a rose and say, well, when is it perfect? Because a rose expresses its perfection as the bud. It expresses its perfection in every stage of its becoming. And so when we look around at you, we realize and do not expect you to believe the same, act the same, look the same. Because you are each an individual expression, perfect spirit within you. And you are expressing where you are, as are each and every one of us. The spiritual community comes from many different belief traditions, but what holds us together is the belief that love is the highest power, and love is the best possible name for that which we call God. And that we're called here to make that idea a living reality. And we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being a part of that. The piece of glass, we have a beautiful stained glass fixture. We have these beautiful unity wings with remnants of that glass. But that glass is also just a touchstone for you to remember that you are part of the light of the world. Your own color, your own size, your own radiant shape. And you're also a part of the spiritual community and the consciousness that we create together. Your commitment when you attended a class, or we've talked, and what you understand is this. It says, I understand and support the mission and the vision of Unity of the Blue Ridge. I choose to demonstrate and support unity through my prayer, my personal involvement, and personal support. I seek to live my highest truth, and I honor and support others as they live their highest truth. I open myself to receive the abundant blessings that are available when I intentionally live my highest truth. And so I hereby declare my intention in membership at Unity Church of the Blue Ridge. If that is your intention, would you say, I do? I do. Would you join me in reflecting back to them through song? You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. We are one family. You are the face of God. Would you stand this time and sing it out? You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. And we're one family. You are the face of God. And then the next slide. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. and we behold the divinity in you. We are here to be in fellowship with you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You may go down. You may go down. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, Rebecca, thank you. Jay, so glad to have you here, Jay. Thank you. Sheldon. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you.
The town lay sleeping at night, a star above shining bright. A babe in a manger lay, the first Christmas day. This child had a message to bring, to answer our prayers and our dreams. This message of love he gave from the first Christmas day. From the first Christmas day, love was the way to live, to share and give. From the first Christmas day, the boy grew tall and wise. He carried a light in his eyes. We all are the same, he'd say, since the first Christmas day. From the first Christmas day, love was the way to live, to share and give. From the first Christmas day. Although the man is gone, I know his spirit lives on. The love that he came to share will always be here. From the first Christmas day, love was the way to live, to share and give. From the first Christmas day.
Yeah. That was an original Dave Della Rosa song. He wrote that song. Yeah. Wow. Such a powerful Christmas song. They'll be back in a bit, as will the choir and the children. It's a beautiful day. How many of you just love this season? How many of you consider it a mixed bag? How many of you don't really want to raise your hand, but there's some other feeling that you have about it? At our staff meeting this week, we were talking about Christmas and how it's happening, and we all said we feel like the Christmas car is going like this, and we're all running behind it saying, but wait. It's a busy time of year, but I love it. It is a beautiful, beautiful time of year. We've been exploring using a model of Advent, where 3 weeks ago we started talking about hope or faith. And that hope or faith is in the realization of who we are as an expression of all that is. It's about having a hope and a faith that we are far more than meets the eye, that we are spirit beings of light. Last week was about peace, that there's a peace that passes understanding that comes from that. We sing a song around here that says, this love that I have, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it, and the world what? Can't take it away, because it doesn't come from the world. We're talking about that is within us. And so we light a candle each week, and today is the pink candle because it's a candle that represents love, the spirit of love. There's a story that says there was a little boy in the room. Someone said, what is love? What is love? And he said, love is what's in the room with you at Christmas. If you stop opening presents, close your eyes and really listen and feel how full your heart is. The wisdom of a 7-year-old boy. To pause and to stop and to really feel how full your heart is. And that it is full of love in that moment. Because as we all know, we can get full of a lot of other stuff that just seems to take over and come out. It's what we're made of, but to return to that essential essence. And so today we want to explore what it means we all have the capacity. We're told we are the light of the world. We're told we're the image and likeness of God. The Christmas story, the Christ Mass. Christ is a title. It's a word that describes the incarnate spirit in all humanity, and that we are each and every one bringing that to life. It's the Christmas story, that we're all bringing that to life, that we all have that capacity. But as we all know, having a capacity for something and acting on that capacity are very different things. Amen. That you can have the capacity for a lot of stuff, but unless you act on it, you never realize the capability. The potential never comes to light. And so this is about how do we act on our capacity and bring it to light. 1 Corinthians 3:16 says, do you not know that you're God's temple and that the very Spirit of God dwells in you? This was spoken at a time when people were arguing about where the Spirit of God dwelled. And now look how many thousands of years later we are, and people are still arguing about which denomination, which faith tradition, which land, where does the Spirit of God, those words could never be more powerful even today. The Spirit of God dwells within us. And then wherever we are becomes holy ground because we're carrying that holiness within us. Meister Eckhart, talking about this Christmas spirit, said, become aware of what is in you, announce it, pronounce it, produce it, and give it birth. Bring it to life. So today we want to look at 3 things. How do we believe in this presence within us? How do we nurture it? And how do we bring it forth? When I was working on this message this week, I was reminded of a powerful experience I had in my life. I'll date myself, not that I have to, because you can look at me and tell, but just go back to the late 90s. I was doing some work in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'd left a job and I was doing some consulting work for a magazine in Raleigh, working with their marketing. One day while I was in that office in Raleigh, a courier came in. I'd never really seen a person like that with a black suit and white gloves. I've seen it on television, but never had one walked in with an envelope with my name on it and handed it to me. And so I'm standing there in this place of business and I get this envelope, and it's from the governor of North Carolina. At the time, it was Governor Jim Hunt. And everybody that else saw it looked and like, what have you done? And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm going to take it over here and open it up, though. I opened it up, and it was this invitation to attend lunch with the governor of North Carolina, a luncheon, assuming other people would be there too. But so I thought, well, sure, I'm going to go to this luncheon. I brush up on my etiquette. I get some nice clothes. And I'm still thinking, how did I get this invitation? So sure enough, I arrived that day at the governor's mansion. I'm greeted. I walk in, the red carpet, and I walk into this room with these tables set up. I start looking around, and when I saw Michael Jordan, I thought, oh, this is really... And then I started seeing the anchors from the news stations that I watched on TV, and the head of this bank and that other, and me. And so I was walking around, and the whole time I keep thinking, how in the world, why am I here? So I was seated. We had a wonderful luncheon. A group came in. What the event was, North Carolina was going to be hosting the Special Olympics. And so it was an invitation to help promote and to really support, do everything North Carolina could to make this a great event for bringing the Special Olympics to North Carolina. So I said, absolutely, count me in. I'll do anything I can. But the next day, so it ends. It was a fabulous event. I was still pretty awestruck because of who was in the room. And the next morning, I got up, and in a prayer time, I just said, why was I there? And it was one of those times I heard a voice that said, because you accepted the invitation. You see, I'd been trying to figure out the why on a whole different level. But what it really comes down to, why was I there? Because I accepted the invitation. And then what kind of dawned on me, the magazine I was working for is Spectator magazine, based in Raleigh. Now, it was so pivotal in my life because this was a time in my life when I was feeling a call to the ministry, but I, at that time, was saying, I want to, have a full career and retire and have plenty of money, and I'll do that when I have some spare time. But yet I was feeling this call to go into ministry very strongly. And as I sat with that, and I heard, I'm there because I accepted the invitation, and as so often words just jump off the page, I looked at Spectator, and I realized that there was still a part of me that was invested in my own life at the level of a spectator. That I, for whatever reason, wasn't using the best china, wasn't putting my best self forward. It's like I was waiting and saving. I was on the line in spectator mode. And it's as if this cosmic 2x4 came along and said, you are saying in your prayers that you've accepted the invitation. You know you're the light of the God. You know you're these things. So if there's a next step for you, what would that look like? So what about each of us? Now, Michael Jordan is a minister in his own right. Do you understand that we're all ministers? We're all serving in our own way, whatever it is that you're doing. And the question becomes today, where are we still holding back in spectator mode? And this is the season that reminds us to really accept the invitation, to believe it, to believe with all your heart that this is the time, you are the one, you are the Holy Spirit of God, an original blessing. But it's about growing into that potential, waking up and realizing it and living from that, living it out. So the first thing is, how much are we believing that? Do we really believe in this presence? The presence in which we live and move and have our very being. There's another story of around Christmas time, the parents were going Christmas shopping one night. And so they had twin little 4.5-year-old, a little boy and girl, and grandma was going to keep them one night. They were spending the night. And it was their tradition every night before they went to bed, they would get down and say their prayers. And so they got down, and the little girl said hers, and she hopped up in bed, and then the little boy started saying his prayers. And from his prayers, he segued into his Christmas list. And he also started getting louder. You know, dear God, bless Mama and Daddy. And dear God, for Christmas, please tell Santa I want a... And he started yelling it. And the little sister, after he finished, said, why are you yelling? God doesn't have any problem hearing. He said, I know, but Grandma does. For that little boy, he knew where his good was coming from. He needed to reach Grandma's ear to get what was coming to him. When we're young, we put our faith in the people around us. Sometimes they stand by us, sometimes they don't. We put our faith in a lot of things and in a lot of people. In his life, you have to. But the spiritual journey is about, is your faith, do you have faith that above all, through all, that you are the light of the world? That if this life is about anything, it's a spiritual experience. That everything that happens is so that you can come to know yourself as that. That's why Jesus made such an impact, and other master teachers and avatars who have walked this earth have made incredible impacts because they knew who they were. And they had a capacity, they engaged people from that same knowing. And when you do that, it sparks something within them. They feel it. People want to be around other people that see the light and see the good in them. Amen? Nobody wants to be around somebody that constantly points out their flaws, right? Take a deep breath. We all do it. None of us wants to be around that all the time. You're just drawn. If somebody really gets you, sees you, they know who you are. Especially when it comes to, I'm not putting labels on you. You can have actions that are evil or actions that are good, but you still are a being of light. You may not be being it right now, acting on that potential, but you are it. You are that. There's a way to hold people accountable and still hold them in the light. More importantly, there's a way to hold ourselves accountable and still hold ourselves in the light. And that's what it means to believe in it. And so we believe in it, and then the next step is we begin to nurture it. To nurture that loving presence. To spend time in prayer, in meditation, and supplication. Spend time in things like this, in classes and reading. Spend time nurturing your own spirit, nurturing your Christ potential, as we call it here, your innate divinity, nurturing that. Belief is a foundation, but nurturing it requires effort. Rumi, the great mystic poet, said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. That perhaps our greatest service is to find a way to strengthen and live closer to our own goodness, our own love. And it requires everyday attention and noticing when we start feeling drained and diminished and totally frustrated. That's part of the human journey, but not to get stuck there. A number of years ago at one of our Unity conventions, one of our keynote speakers was Father Gregory Boyle. He's authored several books. The most popular one is called Tattoos on the Heart. Father Gregory is a priest. He works with gang members in California. He's well known for his work because these rival gangs in California and all the deaths and the destruction that were taking place, he went right into the heart of that and opened a bakery. And what he did is he got the different rival gang members to come in and start working together. They had to call a truce and come in and work together because he knew if they could ever get to know each other, if they would create something together, it would help them start questioning, why am I making them into my enemy? And his work has been revolutionary. And so he was one of our keynote speakers, and when he was speaking, I just was writing down the words of wisdom that were coming out of that man's mouth. And he was talking about working with gang members, individuals who had really never experienced love. And you know that we pass along what we have to pass along. If you have brokenness and hurt and hate and scars, you're going to pass those along until something else happens. You have to have something else to pass along. And so he said, when it comes to our pain, our brokenness, our hurt and suffering, we will either seek to heal and transform it, or we will be driven to revenge and transmitting it. That our work is to tend to nurture the broken places, the hurt places, so we don't start transmitting that out. That's why I believe if you read the 2 Christmas stories, we will talk more about those next Sunday. But as the stories goes, when the angel approaches Mary, the first thing the angel says is, "Fear not." The angel approaches Joseph, the first thing the angel says is, "Fear not." The angel goes to the shepherds, the very first thing the angel says, you want to guess? "Fear not." Now, if you really dig into the translation, what they're saying is, don't let your fear hold you back. No one has ever said to anybody who was scared to get on a roller coaster, "Fear not." And they're like, "Okay, it's gone." If only that would happen. Many have said, don't let your fear hold you back. Don't let whatever you're fighting with, whatever it is going on in there, whatever it is, don't let it hold you back. Don't let the doubt, don't let the shame, don't let the labels that other people have put on you, don't let the "I'm not good enough," don't let that hold you back. You walk sometimes right in the presence of that. And we nurture it. We learn to tend to our own soul. We take time to pray and meditate and fill our cup. In the early 1900s, many infants died in hospital institutions for unknown reasons. And often what would be written on the admissions card when a sick child came in was one word: hopeless. The child was frail, wasn't eating, appeared hopeless. But there was a famous physician in Boston named Dr. Fritz Talbot. He had a very high success rate with those children that came in with that label, hopeless. And so one day, one of the station nurses said, can I watch you? I want to know literally what you're doing because we need to share this with other people. Why are your results so much better? And he said, "It's not me, it's old Anna." And she said, "Excuse me?" He said, "The reason these children are better are because of that woman." And he pointed into the nursery. And there was a woman with gray hair, the little bun on her head, sitting in a rocking chair, rocking those children. He said, "For every child that comes in that's hopeless," he said, "I assign them to her. And she loves on them, and she rocks them, and she sings to them, and she prays over them, and she does whatever Anna does over them, and they usually begin to start eating. Something in them is waking up and responding to love." And that's what happens with us, with our own self. Something wakes up and responds to love, but we can't keep looking for love in all the wrong places. It has to start here with self-love. So we believe in this presence. We nurture this presence. And so what are some things you do to nurture that love, to nurture the truth of your being? The third thing is to bring it forth, to radiate it. There's a passage of scripture it's like a Buddhist koan. It's kind of hard to unravel, and it goes like this. Jesus said, "If you bring forth what is in you, what is within you will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you." Now, this is what I believe. I believe that there's a light, a radiance, a presence, a love, a transformative potential within us. But if it doesn't shine, there is darkness, and we're lost. The darkness, we're just lost in that darkness. Further down in 1 John, it says, no one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us, and God's love is brought into full expression in us. Jesus said, the things I do, you can do, and even greater. So it's about bringing that forth in full expression. So we believe in this presence, we nurture this presence, and then we bring it forth. We let our light shine. You see, when Jesus was saying, let your light shine, it was really a key, a golden key to turn them. It's about living from the inside out. That your greatest job is to tend to your light first and foremost, and then go up. It's why when you're on an airplane and they go through the spiel about the oxygen mask, what do they tell you to do? You always need to put on yours, because you cannot help somebody if you can't breathe. That's why when they went to Jesus, the Pharisees and the scribes, and they said, tell us, Master, what is the greatest law? Now that was a trick question, because there were some 613 laws. There were tassels on the bottom of the priest's robe representing every single law. They were all equal. You could not put one greater than the other. So this question was a setup. Tell us, which is the greatest law? In his wisdom and his ability to just get to the heart of truth, he said, the summation of all the laws is this: love. Love your God, love your neighbor. What's the last part? As you love yourself. That only if we have that love can we give that. So to tend to that. And so to realize that our giving, there's a different quality of giving. Band, I'm going to ask you to come up. A lot of the giving that we participate in is called transactional giving. I give you a gift, you give me a gift. I go to the grocery store and give them some money, and they give me very few groceries these days for that money. I go to the hairstylist. I give her some money, and I say, perform a miracle, and she does her best. You know, the system, this for that, this for that, this for that. That's part of our economy. It's how it works, and it works pretty well. However, this is the realm of effects, a physical realm. People try to apply that to spiritual economics, and that's why the scriptures are so baffling. You see, the scriptures say, give and it shall be given to you, and people hear that is, well, if I see this person on the side of the road and I give them $5, by God, before my day's over, I better get my $5 back somewhere, because Jesus said, give and it shall be given to you. That's not what it meant. I hate to break that to you. This is what it's talking about. Give, and the capacity to give will be yours. You see, you can't, anything that, if I'm giving you something genuinely, if I'm giving you my attention, if I'm giving from a consciousness of love, if I'm giving from a consciousness of abundance, if I'm giving from a consciousness, if I'm giving from that, I am increasing. As I give that, I'm receiving that in order to be able to give it. That as you give, you increase your capacity to give that quality, to give that whatever you're seeking to bring forth. That's the spiritual giving and receiving that we're talking about here. That's why in the scripture, when there's a story of the widow who put one little penny in the offering, if you will. Jesus stopped and pointed to her and said, she's given the greatest gift. He was making sure they knew it wasn't about amount. It's not about transactional giving. It's because she was in touch with her capacity. She had the capacity. To those who have, they shall have greater capacity. To those who have not, even what they do have will be taken away, because you're not drawing on that capacity, and it will atrophy. It won't work. So our invitation this week is to believe in this presence. It's to nurture it. Find ways that nurture the love that you feel. And then it's to send it forth. Again, it doesn't mean you're not involved in transactional giving, because you will be. But create opportunities to feel what it feels like to put your gifts in service. Let me extend this compliment. Let me extend this, whatever you're extending, let me give this, not because I'm hoping somebody out there is going to match it, but because I genuinely want to increase my capacity to be able to do more of that. Increasing our capacity. So I want to invite you to close your eyes. We're on a meditation today, and as you close your eyes, to allow yourself to become as comfortable as you can. If you can, to maybe scoot up just a little bit in your seat where you can sit a little more uprightly and let your spine be straight. Feel the strength of your body. As you close your eyes, take a couple of breaths and just bring your awareness and feel what's going on inside of you. Start to tune out everybody else. Just tune out and bring your awareness inside your own body. And you are going to engage your God-given capacity of imagination. With your eyes closed, just let your imagination follow. With your eyes closed, take one more nice deep breath. And then with your eyes closed, notice there is a large, beautiful doorway right before you. Wow, it's a wide open doorway. And you're right there, right at the threshold of this gorgeous, wide open doorway. And you immediately feel there's a radiance before you that you're entering into. It is so loving. And so you take one step, and as you do, you just feel your body begin to relax. You're entering into the safest place of love you could possibly imagine. And there's a kind of luminosity. It's not blinding white lights. These are gentle, gentle golden lights that are soft and yet luminous. And you're fully inside of this room, and you are just being overwhelmed in the most beautiful way by such a presence of love. You see a figure of someone sitting in a chair. And you may or may not recognize them, but immediately you almost well up to cry because you say, there's so much love right there. I recognize them. I recognize that love. You move closer toward them. And there's a seat just across from them, and you sit down. There is so much love. Your heart is full. You feel at home. Words don't need to be exchanged because there's so much love coming in. With every breath, you feel it moving through your body. It's literally healing you. There is nothing that can stand between you and the love that you feel. There is nothing that can withhold that presence of love that you feel. You realize that that presence is your your original presence. It is the purest, most unconditional love. Love that is bigger than any condition. Love that knows no bounds. And in the presence of that love, there's nothing to defend. For you are home and you are whole. And so in your own way, take just a moment with your eyes closed and begin to express your gratitude for what you see and what you feel. As you take a breath, you realize the atmosphere is shifting just a little bit. Becoming a little more dense. You notice your body. You're starting to feel more like your body typically feels. And once again, in your own way, you take a moment and give thanks for that experience, to be in the presence of such love. And then you hear a voice that says, at any time, you can pause and simply ask, what is between me and this presence? What is between me and this presence? And in that recognition, you begin to return to that presence. And now whatever it is that you're dealing with, you can be present to it from that place of original love. It's not an either or. It's always there. For it is a love that never fails. It never fails to be present. And that love is you. So in this moment and in this place, I remember who I am, and all fear and worry falls away from me, and I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. So when I lose myself and I've lost my own way, I get out of my head and into my heart, and I hear spirits say, oh, there is love, there's always love, there is only put your right hand over your left and hug yourself. And say, thank you, self, for remembering this. And now put your left hand over your right hand and hug yourself and say, and self, when you forget, I'm going to love you too. When you forget, I'm going to love you too. Believe in it, nurture it, and bring it forth. That is the Christmas story. I hope you will engage in that this week. I want to thank you for your beautiful hearts and for your willingness to be here. Are you ready for the choir to sing again? Come on back up, choir. I'm going to invite the choir to come up for their final song. As the choir is coming up, I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward, our prayer chaplain to come forward. We have a prayer request box that's usually behind the tapestry over in this area. You can always leave your prayer requests. Our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you after the service back in our youth area. Diane Swift here has that box, and we'll be back in the area if you would like prayer today. Our ushers are here to remind us that it is through us that the gifts that sustain the spiritual community. So we acknowledge the gift of you and your tithe and your offering. Would you affirm that and bless it together now? Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. I am now in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God, and so it is. All right, choir.
I'm gonna sing you a song about Christmas, 'cause Christmas time is so sweet. I tell how the three wise kings of old came to sit at the Christ child's feet. Ring the bell, Christ is born. Ring the bell, Christ is born. Ring the bell, Christ is born. And he shall be King of kings.
Yes, Paul was the name of the first wise king. They say he came from afar. A vision of the Christ child came to him when he gazed at the evening star.
Then straightway Gaspar packed his train, and across the sand came he, with a precious gift of frankincense, Mary's little child to see. Ring the bells that Christ is born. Ring the bells that Christ is born. Ring the bells that Christ is born. And he shall be King of kings. Bum, 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 bum. Now Balthazar was the richest king of the three wise kings, so they say. He had 20 camels in his caravan that came to Bethlehem that day.
Among his gifts was some precious myrrh, the rarest of the land. And King Balthazar brought it to the holy child for to warm his cold little hand.
Ring the bells that Christ is born. Ring the bells that Christ is born. And he shall be King of kings.
Balthazar, he was a mighty king, riches and lands untold, that he confiscated from his enemies, 'cause he was so strong and bold. But they managed to say to King Balthazar, son, you must be meek and mild when ye present thy gift of gold to the mother of a holy child.
Ring the bells that Christ is born. Ring the bells that Christ is born. Ring the bells that Christ is born. And he shall be King of kings. Ring the bells that Christ is born. Ring the bells that Christ is born. Ring the bells that Christ is born. And he shall be King of kings.
All right.
I know I'm not supposed to do this right now, but I'm doing it. Sarah, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for the choir. As the choir heads down, the children are coming in. That was absolutely beautiful. Give them a hand again. And Sarah Kors, we want to thank you for that. You need a microphone. Let's see. No, I'll hold it for you. Are she going to introduce it then?
Can you hear me? Yay! Merry Christmas, everyone. We are very excited. The kids have energy today. It's very exciting. All right, you're going to have to bear with me. I don't really play ukulele, so I'm just muddling along. Here we go. Are you ready, guys? All right, look at Barbara.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. While on the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names, they never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? And now the other reindeer has a shining out with glee. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
That was amazing. I believe in Christmas miracles now, for sure.
You all were wonderful. Do you want to sit on the steps just a moment? And parents, if you just want to keep your eye on them. we want to invite up, all my papers got moved. Let's see. That was absolutely wonderful. Now, we have two agencies with us today because a community we believe in, we believe in not trying to talk into two microphones. So being involved in the community through outreach. Today I want to invite up to the stage Sonia Jones from Caja Solidaria. Come on up, Sonia. And Mrs. Karis Drake from the Elks Club Doe's Drove of Hendersonville. Miss Drake, are you here? Come on up. So this year we started our project with Caja Solidaria, and all of these gifts here are children that we've adopted. So will you tell us a little bit about your program and what it does, where these gifts are going?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you so much for having us here. You guys heard a plane crash on I-26, right? Your car went out?
Power.
Power went out, right. It was a crash, right? Did you also see the headline that said, plane makes emergency landing on the interstate, right? In that moment, that reporter extended some grace. These people were flying a plane. They were doing the best they could, right? And in the circumstances that they found themselves in. Well, that's like a lot of families that we find ourselves working with. They're doing the best they can in the circumstances they find themselves in. And that's like a lot of you who have extended grace to help us support them this Christmas to have a celebratory season in their emergency landings. So what we do at Caja is we ensure that everyone has access to the abundance the Southern Appalachians offer through healthy food prescription programs. So mostly what that looks like is about 700 people living in households with family member with a chronic health condition. They have access to healthy foods through one of our pickup or mobile markets through Henderson and Transylvania County. And all of you are welcome to come to our market and participate, and you're welcome to come and volunteer. So we're very, very honored by your generosity and support, and we really hope that we can continue being in partnership and community with you. Thank you.
Well, we want to thank you for being here. Stay right here. Yeah. We've got Santa here to help load these gifts. We're going to bless those in just a minute, and your organization. And so what happened was pretty much the first Sunday, all the angels got adopted. So we reached out to another agency, and I understand all of you that are standing are part of the Elks Club, the women's group, women's auxiliary called the Does.
Yes.
In the Hendersonville Elks Club. And we've been collecting gift cards and money. The church is giving a check for $500. Many of you have given money. Both of these representatives are going to be out in the lobby afterward as we're loading this stuff. So if you'd like to still give to either of them, you can. Would you tell us just briefly about your organization?
We are the Does. You've heard of the Hendersonville Elks Lodge. Elks Lodges are across the nation, as well as the Does. And the Does, our Elks Lodge in Henderson County, adopts 130 families every year, just our private club. And we give them 2 weeks worth of food, and we have special surprises that come. And anyone in the house that may not be very young, they get, if they're a teen or a special needs adult, anyone, in the house, we try to give them, the ladies, we started this a few years ago. We didn't want someone not to have a surprise. So we do a meal ticket to somewhere close to their schools or something, and an activity, whether it be the movies or a pinball or Walmart or Amazon, something for them to be able to have their very own, like the small children. And we do a lot of charity work otherwise, a lot, but I know we're running short on time. I'm not the speaker that Miss Diane is, and when you were speaking of yours, Miss Diana might could work with y'all too. She is with I Am Ministries.
Yes.
And she works in administrative, and there's a lot of There's a lot in there. There's a lot that could work with other people. I really know we're in a hurry, but can I share one thing that you said? When she was talking about feeling love inside, it rushed out of me to share with you. I have a grandson, and at 4 years old, he was asked in the back seat, "How do you know God's there?" That's what his little cousin said. And he looked at him, he said, "I got the light right here. I got the peach right here." So he, at 4 years old, knew what the light, the peace, the love is in his heart. And let me tell you, if I do nothing else in my life right, my grandchildren and my children know the Lord.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So stay right here. So would you stand and rub your hands together? Okay, so parents, we're going to get the kids to the parents before we bless them. Oh. This is called Parents Find Your Children Sunday. We want to make sure everyone, we've got teachers at the doors to make sure they're all secure until they get back with family. All right, so we're going to bless these agencies and these gifts, and any of you that want to hang around a little bit and help load up Santa's sleigh, that would be great. Our blessing says, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. To each of you, to all that you serve, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. And all God's children said, amen. Go forth in peace. Have a beautiful day. Let there be peace on earth. We'll sing it as you exit. Go right now. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.